Maureen spent 16 years of her life as a police officer working with marginalized communities in Chicago. She had always had a need and a desire to help people. The level of corruption that she saw over the years, which she had no control over and was completely misaligned with her values, was her impetus to get out of the profession. Only 4 more years, she told herself, until she could get her pension. After a tragic period where she had unexpectedly lost both her mother and her beloved dog, she knew the time had come. There was no way that she had 4 more years in her. It was around this time that human design found Maureen, and she was also introduced to the gene keys. From a young age, she always had an attraction to astrology and the metaphysical. It was something that came so naturally to her. She so enjoyed spending time alone, studying what she absolutely loved, and human design was a natural extension of that gift. As someone who always enjoyed supporting her network and sharing the things that she loved and was excited about, Maureen started doing meetings for free. A close friend recognized her natural talent and called her out on it. "You're really good at this, Maureen. You do know people pay for this, right?" Before she knew it, Maureen was doing paid readings for people that were referred to her through her network. Soon after, she was introduced to human design shadow work, and that is when her business really took off. Maureen is now living her dream life in Sedona, Arizona, running her business online and also doing in-person retreats. Maureen is a 2-4 profile in human design. In today's episode, I am covering the 2-4 human design profile. I'll cover both lines individually and then bring them together in the profile, covering the gifts, the challenges, things that you might need to look out for if you have this profile, and also things that you might want to recognize in loved ones that have this profile as well, so that you or they can make the absolute most of this gift. Welcome to Heart-Centered Human Design, Emotional Intelligence and Conscious Business, the show for heart-centered entrepreneurs that want meaningful success and work-life balance so they can wake up feeling empowered, inspired, and supported by work and life. I'm your host, Vanessa Naja, human design nerd, mentor, and business coach, and I'm so excited to share this amazing system with you to help you create an amazing business and live the life that you were born to live. At the end of the episode, I'll provide you with information on how to engage with both myself and Maureen, and the information for that will also be below in the show notes. The profile in human design, also known as your public role, is a huge part of who you are. Along with your type, strategy, and authority, it's actually the most important part of your human design. Your profile tells you so much about how you fulfill your purpose. And there's 2 parts to the profile. The first number, in this particular instance, it's the 2, since we're talking about the 2-4, is the conscious part of your profile. And this is something that you are probably aware of and that you're familiar with and that you see in yourself. The second part, in today's instance, is the 4th line, or the 4, is unconscious. So it's something that you don't necessarily recognize in yourself, but other people do see this about you. And with time, personal development work, and introspection, you will also recognize this about yourself. And of course, human design speeds the process up exponentially. I have done individual episodes on both the 2nd line and the 4th line already. And if you'd like to check those out, go back to season 1 and check out episode 31 for the 2nd line and episode 33 for the 4th line. Today, we will cover them a little bit individually and also bring these 2 aspects together. So the 2-4 profile is a personal profile. And what that means is that it is really required for them to fulfill their purpose through introspection and working within themselves first before they connect and bring their work out with others. So we're always working on the self first and working from the inside out with a personal profile. The 2nd line in traditional human design is known as the Hermit. This is somebody that really needs to spend time alone, doing their own thing, working on their own thing, and really being in their own aura in order to really thrive. There are other names for this profile as well, including the natural, because People with second lines in their profile are naturally gifted. There's something that they are incredibly good at that they are meant to share with the world. It's a talent that comes naturally, and it's something that is easy for them. It's a type of thing that other people might have to work really, really hard to get good at this, but for somebody that has the second line gift, it actually comes naturally and it's pretty easy. And because of that, they don't actually recognize it as anything special. They just think everybody can do this and it's not a big deal. They often cannot see themselves very clearly, and it takes somebody else to call them out on their gifts. A second line might have one unique special gift or multiple gifts, and they are meant to share their special gift with the world. Now, it's not necessarily everything that they're good at that they need to share. It's the thing that they are good at that they absolutely love, that they cannot get enough of. If you have a second line in your profile, you do want to really pay attention to the things people call you out on. So remember from Maureen's story, her friend said, hey, you're really good at this, and people paid for it. And it was something she absolutely loved and went out into the world, built a business on, and is now really making a difference in the lives of others with this gift. So pay attention to what people call you out on. If somebody says, hey, you're really good at this, is it something that you love? Follow your strategy and authority, of course, to see if it's something you're meant to bring to the world. Remember, though, if it's something that you don't love just because you're good at it, it doesn't mean that you need to share it or really make much out of it. So some things that can come up for the second line in business is having a difficult time talking about what they do. Because they have a hard time seeing themselves and seeing their gifts, you can also have a hard time sharing what they do because they don't necessarily know how they do what they do. They just do it. They're just naturals at it. So one way to get over this is to show what you do. And this is one of the things that Maureen does. When somebody says, hey, like, what do you do? Her response is usually, let me show you, and actually demonstrate what you do. In business, this can look like creating videos, sharing your gifts on social media. You could do this in short videos, in reels, in longer videos, but actually showing what you do versus just telling or talking about it. It can also be really helpful to have a trusted advisor, a mentor, a coach that sees you and knows what you do, help call it out of you and help you explain it. And this is especially important when it comes to things like messaging, writing sales pages, working on your website. You do want to be able to convey what you do, and it's going to be really helpful if you have somebody that draws that out of you. And also, if you include aspects in all of that that shows what you do versus just telling it. So finding the balance between those two. Another thing that comes up for many second lines is that we have so much conditioning about, like, you have to work hard, the things that are worthwhile are not going to be easy. And your talents and gifts actually come easily to you. And there might be this aspect of you, like, it shouldn't be this easy. I need to make it harder. And then these beliefs come in and they put up these blocks that create distortions for you that actually make it harder. If you have a second line in your profile, you are born to be a genius and a natural at something, and actually embracing that natural talent and not trying to make it harder than it needs to be is really important for your development and for your ability to share your gifts with the world. You do want to do the important deconditioning work around things having to be hard all the time, and allowing yourself to surrender in the fact that your gifts are natural talents and they are easy for you. And of course, there can also come this thing of wanting to fit in with other people that are complaining about how hard it is and how hard it should be, when really it's not hard for you. So not pretending that something's hard that's not hard. It's okay to share your gifts and your genius with the world, and you don't need to dim your light for other people. The fourth line in traditional human design is known as the opportunist. And really what this means is that fourth lines receive their opportunities from other people, and they can also create opportunities for others. Fourth lines are also known as influencers because they are designed to be influential over their networks through what they know, and in the case of the 2-4, through their natural gifts. They can use their natural gifts to be a positive influence on people in their network. Now, fourth lines are very relationship focused and oriented. Their networks are so important. That old saying of your net worth is in your network is really true for the fourth line. It's so important to develop those relationships. Fourth lines will naturally want to connect with their loved ones, with their network, spend time investing in their friendships, and being around people. It's something that is really important for the fourth line. Having strong, solid networks is essential for the right opportunities to come to you, because fourth lines will receive most of their great opportunities in life through people that they already know. And this is something Maureen shared with me as well. So many of her clients initially came through her network. The classes and the workshops that she offered and continues to offer are usually brought to her through her network. Having those strong networks is absolutely essential. Now, a pitfall that can happen for the fourth line is getting into the wrong networks, and they can be rather fixed and stubborn and very slow to make change. And they can be afraid to change their networks if they're in the wrong networks. There's also a big fear of rejection here. There can be a fear of being rejected by the people that you know, by your loved ones, by your networks for sharing your natural gifts and your talents. So again, doing the deconditioning work around the fear of rejection is absolutely essential for fourth lines. And also making sure, again, to be in the right networks and to be willing to change your networks if that is necessary. Following your strategy and authority when it comes to establishing your network and connecting to the right people. Remember, this is not something that is meant to be forced. Going to networking events, networking online, all of those things might be absolutely correct for you. But if they do not align with you, if it is something you really don't want to do and you're just forcing yourself because you think you should do it, then that is not really going to pay off. In order to be in alignment, you do want to follow your strategy and your authority. So coming to the 2-4 profile. This profile obviously has a big push and pull in it. The 2 is the hermit. They like to spend time alone doing their own thing. And the 4 is the network. They like to go out and influence people and be around people. And finding the balance here is key. Many times people get stuck in either the 2 or the 4. So they might be spending all of their time alone, not really connecting with their networks, and then nobody's seeing their talent and calling them out on it, so they can't share their gifts with the world. Or they get so stuck in that fourth line that they don't want to be alone. They're always out and about. They don't actually have time to be developing and leaning into their natural gifts and talents. So finding that balance for the 2-4 profile is so important. And also sharing with your friends, your family, your loved ones that you do need that alone time. It's an important part of who you are. It's not personal if you're going off spending time alone. It's absolutely essential. And then when the time is right, bringing out your natural gifts and your talents to share with your network so that you can really be influential in the way that you were meant to be. Now, I do want to say a little something about the networking aspect of that fourth line. You know, they often say like it's through people that you actually know, and then people can get a little bit tripped up about networking on social media and doing that kind of marketing, because a lot of times mass marketing, you're marketing to people that you don't know. Using social media for the actual social aspect is essential for the 2-4 profile. Connecting with people, and I'm not saying you have to be in the DMs with everybody all the time, but when you make a new connection on social media, actually connect with them, share who you are, see what they're about, engage with them on their posts, and only on the posts that are actually meaningful to you. So remember, we don't want to go into this inauthentic, misaligned place of only commenting on posts or sharing on things because you want something from them. You want to share and connect with the people that really feel correct to you. Because remember, it's your network that's super important. You don't want to be spending your time networking with the wrong people. And also knowing that your network will bring others to you. So when you're sharing your gift, say you have a podcast or a YouTube channel or any of those things, your network will share those things with other people in their network, which then brings those people into your network. So there are so many ways to do this as a 2-4, and remembering that taking that alone time so you can really bring up your natural talents, your natural gifts is such an important part of this profile. With the 2-4, remember that we have that fear of rejection, and you also might have a fear, especially if you lean more into the Hermit side of your profile, of not having enough alone time. So these are some fears that can come up. With the 2, there might also be that fear of not knowing what your talents are, not being able to see your own talents or being able to share them in your marketing. So remember, having somebody that can call that out of you, showing versus telling, connecting with the right networks, and also that fear of rejection, that if you share your gifts and your talents with the world and with your network, that they may reject you. So doing the deconditioning work is so important, knowing that when you are on purpose, you will connect with the right people, with the right networks, and the people that are rejecting you, that is really just protection from the wrong people, the people that you are not meant to share with. So that's it on the 2-4 profile. If you would like to connect with Maureen on her amazing shadow work, you can visit her website, maureen-web.com, and I will also link that in the show notes. She has free and paid resources there. I also have lots of free resources for you, as well as some paid ones. You can check those out at my website, vanessanaja.com. I will also link that in the show notes. I would love to hear what you thought of this episode. Please comment and let me know, are you a 2-4 profile? Do you know a 2-4 profile? And what really landed for you in this episode that speaks to you or to somebody that you know and love? I would love to connect with you on Instagram at @HTVanessanaja. Feel free to DM me any questions that come up for you. I have lots of free content over there as well to give you more information on all aspects of human design. Thank you so much for listening.